Mm, greetings. That's good. Bless this water. And bless you too, beautiful being. Beautiful being of love's delight. Hello, Grand Rising. Hello. Ooh. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in another now moment. I just thought I'd just come in, tap in, say hello. I'm gonna brush my hair for a minute because it feels good. I've been working on growing my hair. I just got it trimmed after took about 3 inches off the hair serum, the hair tonic I made a few months ago. Really helped my hair. I had most of you don't know this, but I did about a year of chemo about 13 years ago and lost a lot of hair. That's when my whole personality changed too. It was quite the experience. But my hair hasn't been the same. And then I live in the country and the water kind of sucks around here. We love the water, but you have to use filters out here. Anyway, I created a tonic for my hair, and of course I share all the products I make after I test them out, and and I notice that I'm always looking to improve my products, myself, my services, right? So anyway, I'll brush my hair with you. I hope this is nice and relaxing for you too. So let's talk about a few things. Since I'm in the process of demonstrating some self-care, let's talk about the importance of self-care for a moment. So if you're one that continues to put others first and care for others first and give to others and carry the load for others, your body's gonna react when you empty your tank. and you're still trying to show up for another. So, as you may have discovered, that's it's hard to maintain that. As you may have discovered, others can disappoint if you have expectations or unrealistic expectations. If you're expecting to receive something back by your sacrifices, or if there are strings attached to your attentions, right? So nobody's going to take better care of you than you, sweet love. So may you learn how to parent yourself well and take the time that you need and work with all the elements that you are, honoring your water, your flow, your streams of light, honoring your sacred breath, honoring your temple. So thank you for joining me. Self-care, number one. Very important. It's like that, when you fly on an airplane, they say to put your mask on first before you assist your child or another. And that's the same thing in life. If you don't take care of your vessel, the wheels are going to start falling off. If you don't go in for a tune-up, if you don't tune yourself up, things are going to fall out of homeostasis or harmonic alignment within you. So whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. We all know what we need. It's often those things that we're avoiding that are calling for our attention. So I've got something going on with me. Not quite sure what it is. I have a sense it may be a little bit more than just energetic, but I'm attending to my body and allowing myself to be shown and receive the information that I need to know, right? So I've been modifying my diet a bit lately. And so a few things occurred to me in this grand new blessed moment of now. And one of the things that keeps coming up is the wheels are about to fall off. Speaking of self-care, one of the things that we've neglected as a collective, as a society at large, at whole, as a kind of an individual within a unit, right? One of the things we've neglected is caring for our land, our mother, caring for our neighbors, our children, caring for our animals, our food, our water, our air. And that is reflected in this world we live in. You see it. You see the pollution. You see animals treated horrifically. You see your children being indoctrinated to someone's idea of what they should be learning instead of what would come naturally, right? And you see us all living in boxes, driving boxes, looking at our boxes, and really kind of checked out. How many of us are communicating with emojis and texts instead of one-on-one conversations or phone calls now? How many of us walk around with stories in our head about ourselves, about our spouse, our partner, our parent, our child, our sibling, a friend, an acquaintance? How many times are we separated from self and each other? And what are all these distractions? Why all the distractions? How did we become a society that values things and stuff over people, connection, and experience? It's the reason all the shit is hitting the fan. If you're anything like me, you've been asking questions and reading and researching and seeking answers your whole life. You've intuitively known something's off, something's not right. I remember when I was young, when I was a little girl. I'm still young. But I remember when I was a little girl, and church was, and always has been, religion. Organized religion. Someone outside of mom was telling mom how to live, but that was my mom's story. So as a little girl, I was dragged to church, and at that time she was Episcopalian. She's gone through them all pretty much. Episcopalian, Catholic, born again, Christian, evangelical. I don't know where she's at, but I do know that she tends to need another outside of her, but she's a very spiritual woman. But anyway, she used to drag me to church, and it was like almost torture for me. It didn't feel uplifting. It felt uncomfortable. And I was really grateful that day that she said, just go 5 more times, and if you still don't want to come, you don't have to. And I did. I paid my dues, and I was really grateful to not have to continue to go. But I remember as an adult with my children, I was seeking God. I was seeking an inner standing of God and that which we call spirit and a spiritual life. I was seeking community. So I also went to a few churches to try to find a place that felt good, and there was always something that would come up that would make me want to walk away, like drama with the pastors, always tended to have something to do with sex, which was really interesting too, that felt a little pervy undertone sometime. That happens to people that get in positions of authority. Their egos can tend to cloud their heart. And we live in a society where we're judged and measured and weighed against another. So no wonder people are struggling so much with their identity and insecurities and fears and anxieties and worries, right? But what's happening right now in this grand evolution of our species is we're clearly being given a choice again and again and again and again. It's always going to be our choice to make up whatever story we choose to make up. But if we're going to do that, then let's own our stories. Let me give an example. If I'm judging another, that's my story. That's my perception. That has nothing to do with the other per se, but everything to do with me and how I view and see things. So if I'm not liking what I'm looking at, then why am I looking there? Right? Why would one default into a criticism, a judgment, a labeling of another? Well, that's all been a part of our conditioning and programming. But it is not our true nature. Our true nature is that of love, peace, harmony, knowing, unity, faith, appreciation, abundance. Our true nature as a spiritual being, one who is much more than just this form. We know there's more, right? So during this wonderful adventure that we're all on here, in the midst of this play, this game, right? 8 gorgeous geese just flew over. Wow, that was lovely. So in the midst of this divine adventure, this sacred journey that all of us are on, it can benefit us to be willing to look at our own selves, to be willing and to know our own selves. At the root of it all, we're all seeking love, right? But many of us have grown attached to trauma's core wounds, like humiliation, abandonment, shame, judgment, unworthiness, stuff like that. And we've tended to carry those stories forward with us, and then we find ourselves attracted to others that bring out that fear of abandonment, right? Or bring out that fear of humiliation, or bring out that fear of shaming or loss, right? The little child, the inner being within, is seeking to resolve it. Sometimes we notice we tend to be attracted to our parent in a partner. Lo and behold, your mate tends to remind you of your dad or your mom, right? Because you're trying to fix things on a subconscious level. Hey, I'm worthy of your love. Please don't abandon me again. Right. You're seeking to heal it. You'll notice that in friends too. When we make these connections with others, sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm meeting my soul tribe, my family. I have met so many men and women that feel so familiar to me, and some of us, beloved ones, you know who you are. We even remember lifetimes or little vignettes of lifetimes that we've experienced together. We know there's something more going on, and then we'll also meet others that we've come in here to fix something, right? We have a contract, right? Perhaps in a past life there was something that went wonky, and we decided, okay, we're going to try to fix that in this life, right? So the same characters tend to show up again and again, lifetime after lifetime. This isn't the only lifetime, by the way. Okay. Hello, you're an eternal being. This is not your only merry-go-round, all right? Anyway, we tend to attract the same core group, right? Soul family, right? Some of us feel like, who are these people? I don't belong here. Perhaps you're coming in to perhaps you incarnated and came into a whole new experience, right? But there are no accidents, okay? And you'll begin to notice more and more and more that, maybe there was a time where you had a conflict with somebody that you've been in relationship with, friendship, partnership, what have you. And there's something that goes off, right? And suddenly you're no longer buds, right? You don't even want to have anything to do with each other, as a matter of fact, because you realize, wow, this was not the person I thought it was, which chances are were your projection, right? And then if you really want to understand what's going on with that relationship, or if you're anything like me, you're going to continue to process it, recognizing there is something of great value here. If it doesn't feel good to me, there is something within me that is wanting to find a harmonious balance. So I always recognize that there's work. So here we are in the midst of great changes. There's a lot going on because we have been asleep in denial for so long. So everything's being surfaced. a society will not go to war. A society will not have big tragedies, right? If a society is healthy, same thing with a body. If there's anything within you that is still having a conflict with another, if you have unresolved stuff with your parents or an ex or a relative or a friend or someone that's passed, whether they're here or not, if anything is unfinished business, there is a fractalization of the natural pattern, right? The homeostatic flow, right? Does that make sense? There's something out of alignment, okay? And again, it's never the other, it's always the self, willing to look at the self to find, well, why? Where did that story come from in the first place? Why would I attract this same person in another body again and again and again, in a partner, in a friend, in a job, whatever it is, right? Why do I have these niggling thoughts of niggling disharmonious thoughts, lower vibrational thoughts, like worrying about another, right? Or why am I hyper vigilantly observing another, taking my attention off self, right? And focusing on another. Oh, they should do this, right? We're always so good at resolving other people's issues, aren't we? But when it comes to ourself, do we give ourselves as much attention? Most of us don't. Most of us get up and go on about our day half awake, half aware, if that. You know, we fall into habits and patterns. And because it feels safe, it's like, oh, okay, at least I know, you know, what to expect here. It's the same thing that happens in abusive and toxic relationships. Often the being stays there after time after time after time after time after time, until suddenly something so extreme happens. They have no choice but to leave, or they just stay in an unsatisfying relationship, and then their body starts to fall apart. They gain weight, their knees need to be replaced, their hips hurt, they have neck and shoulder issues, headaches, migraines, they're inflamed. They're constantly, their sympathetic nervous system is keeping them in constant states of fight and flight. It feels like a battle. Oh, I got a little bee buzzing around me. Hi. Okay, interesting. So no wonder we haven't been able to experience peace on earth. You know, look at how we've treated those different from us in society. You know, why in the heck do we have anyone living in a tent on the street? My God. Why? Why do we have children and families going without food? Why? What exactly are we teaching our children? My God, they're so confused and angry. I don't blame them. What have we done, you know, to our planet with our inability to properly grow and honor the cycles of nature, you know? How did we end up eating a bunch of shit that isn't even food? What would make us think it would be okay to put an untested chemical in our body, thinking it's going to make us safe. You know, when everyone was walking around with masks, I thought, my God, this is the beginning of the end. We've really lost our minds. We've lost our minds. A whole world of people breathing in their waste matter in fear of a virus that's much smaller than anything we put over ourselves. And what happened? We all went into our homes, and then we wondered, how do we all get COVID being in our homes? Well, chances are it's not really a respiratory disease. Chances are what they put in those little injections that everyone was forced or felt like they were forced to take are harming the natural innate immunity of the body, right? We drank the Kool-Aid, folks. I didn't, but many did. I knew it was coming before it got here. And I was pretty upset at the time that people were falling for it, because I knew there was going to come a day when they would find ways to program us. And I knew there was a plan to eliminate many. They've been working on this for a long time, so let's not go down there. That's not my focus. My focus today is self-care. Recognizing our own connections, you know, finding the blessing within that, or the gift of self-reflection, you know, and also to talk about how wonky it's gonna feel for many. You know, I think the most important thing is to just remember you are love. Remember, you did choose. You're not a victim. You did choose the lessons. The blessings disguised as lessons, right? As a matter of fact, for some of those collaborators that came in with you again and again, you guys we decided together, hey, I'm going to be the bad guy. Hey, I'm going to really piss you off. So you'll get out of that little rut and pivot into a whole new divine direction. Right? Right? So, how do we calm the wars, the fires, the floods, the earthquakes? By calming the wars, the floods, the fires, the earthquakes within. Have you noticed that the better you take care of yourself, the better everything else around you feels? Have you noticed when you start saying yes to you, and you get really clear on your yeses and your nos, that everything improves? Have you noticed when you seek assistance, when you think outside the box and you go, who can help me with this, and you suddenly, as if by magic, align with someone that helps you see things in a whole different perspective, or discover things about yourself that you're ready to unveil to self, right? Have you noticed how much better things kind of flow when you're feeling good, confident, when you are empowered? You know, all is flowing, you're feeling good, right? Well, that's kind of how things work. But many are completely unaware, and others stay in states of denial and repression. And we can all see and know who they are. They're the ones fighting, warring, overindulging, speaking unkindly of others and of self, right? In constant conflict, taking, not giving, right? Putting themselves above another, measuring, judging, weighing, right? Themselves against another, right? Constantly seeking more, overfeeding, overstuffing, overstimulating, constantly checked out. You know, I hope they get it. But I don't want anyone to be afraid of great change, because it is promised. Change is inevitable. Everything is fluid and in motion. So may we all learn how to surf and ride these waves. We have so much help. We're never alone. This is so much more than we think. So much more. So when you begin to awaken to who you really are, you realize this is not anything that you thought it was. Things are not as they appear. There is much more going on here, like I am repeating, right? And then you begin to realize, wow, it's up to me. And then hopefully you do this work with compassion for self, honoring of self and other. Because again, when you heal you, the better you feel, the better everything around you starts to feel. All of a sudden, when you let go of the control and instead surrender to the flow, following your intuition, these things called synchronicities show up more and more and more. You meet exactly who you're supposed to meet. Suddenly the abundance comes in, right? Suddenly something new comes into your attention, and you miss something that could have been a big frickin' deal because you were paying attention to your intuition and this, divine fluid flow, and you went this way instead, right? What we resist persists. What we focus on, we call to us. We all know this now. So, how do we prepare for what's coming? That's a really good question. Because quite frankly, we do not know what's coming. Or when, right? We can be absolutely convinced this thing's gonna happen on this day. Probably not. So hopefully many of us are in a position of re-envisioning our own selves and our own experience in this beautiful world we live in. Because we're going to experience quite likely some collapsing of old systems. Our mother planet is a sentient living being. It's just a fact, okay? And if you consider that that things can be both big and small, that it makes sense, doesn't it? Right? Okay. So clearly she's a living being. Look at what sprouts from her body. It feeds us. Your planet sustains you. Her waters are your blood. Her minerals, her earth make up everything of you, including your hair, these antennas. You ever wonder why we don't have long hair like this growing all over our body and it's just on our head? Well, there's a reason for that. Your hair is an antenna. Your skin is a sensory organ, too, right? So, you know, in our ability to love another, honor Mama Terra, Mama Gaia, Pachamama, you know, in our ability to go back to basics. What's really important? Is it really important to get that new car, that new outfit, or have that perfect hairdo and makeup and nails and the perfect decor and the perfect yard is that really, are the things really making us happy? Well, obviously not, because we've had more people leaving the planet in the last few years than in many decades. Obviously not, because one of the biggest industries is the pharmaceutical. People like to take drugs and chemicals to feel better. Obviously not, because families are splitting apart instead of coming together, especially in the Western culture. You know, we kick our kids out when they're still practically babies. Okay? And many don't honor their elders. They'll stick them in some care facility, right? We've definitely lost our way. So this is a rebalancing, a reharmonizing. We are being called to step into higher states of consciousness, return to our heart, and heal our wounded nature so we stop harming ourselves and others. We are being called to be brave and courageous and face our fears and let go of our shit. Our labels, our limitations, our projections. Right? We are being called to stand tall and proud because we are all one. Oyate wate mitakwe oisin. Aho! Great Tree Nation, stand tall and proud. We are one. It is so. So we're gonna find ways so that everyone has what they need. That's where we're going. Mother is shifting. We are being given an opportunity to stay in the spin cycle or evolve and have a whole different experience. Fighting and conflict is not going to get us there. Coming together, reweaving the pattern, the energetic tapestry, coming together. What happens when you come together within yourself? You experience more balance and harmony in your life. When you learn how to work with your own sacred secretions, you get to have the experience of self as all that is, as self as energy, as self, the experience of self as love. Your life force energy rises up, and suddenly you have phenomenal experiences. Suddenly you see no sense, hear more. You can tap into all that is, all the information, everything that ever has been. It is all here right now, right? So you get to tap into what we call the Akashic records, right? The Akash, the memory of it, that which is the connector of all that is, right? So please continue to come together. Please continue to do your own good work on self, and please continue to be available, you know, to love more and more and more. And whatever stories you might be carrying around that's just harming you more than anyone else, because you know when you're circling around stuff, right? May you continue to find your joy, your little pocket of heaven, your peace within. With all the advancements that we have, why haven't there been cures, real cures? Why are there seemingly more and more and more and more diseases? Well, it's an industry. With all the advances we've had, why don't we have a council of representatives that really represent our society? Instead, we have dictators, right? Instead, we have corruption, corrupted leaders. They can't help but be corrupted. Look at the system. I mean, come on, 600 lobbyists. What are you gonna do? You're gonna give in. Bribery, what are you gonna do? You're gonna give in. If we don't check our own borders, there will be infiltrations, energetic infiltrations. So what's going on? Well, all is coming to the surface. All is being revealed. Hang in there. It does get better and better and better. May you be one that chooses love. May you be one that is willing to do the work on self, right? And look at the habits or the patterns of behavior and thought that may not be serving you. May you be one that dances in this beautiful mystery, trusting your own self. We cannot love another, really, or trust another if we have harmful thoughts, unloving thoughts, if we don't have any self-trust or regard or respect, right? And there's nobody that's better or worse. That's all programming. We are all equal. We are all worthy. We are all valuable. We are all capable. We are all much more powerful than we think we are. And boy, we are incredible creator beings. So what have you created for yourself, and how does it feel? How does it look to you? How does it feel? How does it make you feel? Because you're in charge ultimately. You've created every challenge you've ever faced, whether physical, relational, emotional, or spiritual. You. If you have heart disease, you've done that to yourself. You have either failed to love yourself, or you've focused on a broken heart so much, you've cast out love. Right. If you have diabetes, where are you lacking sweetness in your life that your body can't process it? What are you maybe putting in your body that's making it difficult for your body to breathe? It gets inflamed and it won't process stuff. Things get stuck in the pipes. It's all you. You are a brilliant, magical manifester and creator of your reality. So if you do not like any aspect of what you're looking at, look within to find out, where did that come from? Have I been here, done that before? Am I done with this? Am I done carrying around that story that I'm not worthy, you're not worthy? I'm too different, you're too different. Are you still waiting for others to read your fucking mind? Stop that. Stop that. When I became accountable to me, everything changed. When I became willing to look at me, everything changed. When I realized that everything's energy, everything changed for me. Initially, it was kind of scary and frightening. Who am I? What am I doing? Wow. Right? But then I realized, wow, I did this. I agreed to this. I consented. I agreed. Well, now look what I have. Now look what I have here. Wow. So recognizing that you're a powerful creator being, what are you creating? What are you working on now? What are you manifesting now? What ingredients are you putting in your big, big, yummy pot? Your grill, your temple. What are you putting in so that you're overflowing with abundance of love, joy, happiness, peace, faith, trust, sustenance? What are you putting in? Are you creating something good? Right? Or are you just shoving it in the corner? Are you just making a pile? Are you abdicating it, giving it to someone else to take care of? Right? Are you denying? Are you playing the shoulda? Are you shoulding all over yourself? I should. I can't because this, that, and the other thing. Well, I once had an experience with a sister shaman friend. She shared that she had a vision of me, and I was at a cliffside, and I've seen this vision of myself many times. I've dreamt about this. I used to have many dreams where I was driven off a cliff, right? So I've obviously experienced that in a past lifetime. So I had anxiety about driving on cliff sides, mountain roads and stuff, you know, because I had dreamt again and again and again that, oh, me and my kids are flying off and I can't energetically move the vehicle back on the frickin' road. We're going off the cliff, right? So my friend saw me at the cliff and she said, you know, you need to jump in order to learn how to fly. The last time I had that dream, I was driving on a mountain road and I took a corner too fast, and oh, the vehicle went off the road in my dream, and suddenly I was outside of the vehicle, and I looked down and I saw this beautiful waterway. It was green and vibrant and lush below, and I just opened my arms and I surrendered to the free fall, and I've never, ever, ever had that dream again since then. Because I keep surrendering to the free fall, to the flow. I'm allowing, I'm learning. It's constantly a process, okay? I'm not going to pretend to be masterful, although I've figured a few things out, and then I realize I know nothing. There's always more. But really in the flow, in the surrender to the flow. Right? What does that look like? Listening to your intuition. Right? Being present in your body. Ooh. How does my body feel today? Ooh, what do I need to stretch, move, activate, oxygenate, hydrate? Oh, how's my tone? Right? God, I just love you. So I feel like I'm rambling at this point. So thank you for joining me in another Now Moment. I hope when you find this video, it will assist you on some level. At the very least, to know that you're not alone, you know, and that there's more, and that you really are in charge of your experience. And you can choose in each and every now moment to be the victim or the victor. The magnetized or the magnetic. The electrified or the electric, you know, the day, the night, the dark, the light. You really get to choose whatever you want to wear. And if you know something is not good for you to carry around, then give yourself permission to let it go, but honor it, you know. We don't ever lose things by ignoring them, denying them, shoving them in a closet. What's happening is meant to rattle our bones, my loves. To wake us up, shake us up, right? So, may all be well in your world. May you be prepared for whatever comes. May you have all the love within that attracts more love without. May you come into balance so you can experience a balancing of your hemispheres, of your energetics, the masculine and feminine frequency. May you inner and overstand yourself in higher and higher levels. May you let go of that which is not serving your spirit and your heart. And may you realize that you matter. Your thoughts, words, actions, and deeds are creating the next experience of matter for you. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me in another Now Moment. This is Akasha Nicole with Medicine Mother Ministries, bidding you adieu in Lak'ech. Namaste. Aho.